Good morning. It's day 3 of our adventure. Today I plan on doing the floor and putting that flashing over top of the bottom side, and I'm going to show you that. But first, I wanted to show you this. Not my dog. These were 2 chairs that we found at Goodwill, and we're using in our tramper. They're vintage, and this is one of them. My wife this morning, she got up early and cleaned it off and put a coat of varnish on it. It looks just like new. And this is what it started like. This is the other one, and they fold up. See, oh, hang on. You see, they got the. See how they're built? They got the old school technology. That's what I call it. And they got some rods. These are really nice. These things were $7. $7 at Goodwill. And that's the one that's like almost like the before, and this is going to be the after. So we're kind of happy about that. Those are going to store in the tramper really good. Alright, let me move on to my project. Alright, I think it's going to be a hot one today. Alright, we got our first piece set up. I just wanted to show you what tools we're going to use today on these things and what I chose to put on the bottom. Used to put the flashing on the bottom. So we'll start with this stuff. I think I've heard of this before, never used it. It wasn't cheap, it was like 12 bucks a can. But I think what I'm going to use this for is, after I get the flashing on, I'm going to put staples down to help hold it down. I'm going to put caulk underneath it. But this is going to help just seal up the cracks and cover up the staples. I chose this caulk. I got this at Home Depot. All this stuff came from Home Depot. It's supposed to be waterproof, so hopefully this will do the job for me. Hammer and pliers in case I screw up some staples that I don't like the way they went in. I can pull them out, put some new ones in. Caulk gun, of course. Heavy duty staple gun with some Stanley staples. Those are universal 3/8 inch, so and the plywood's 3/4 inch, so I'm not got no problem with anything going through. And lastly, here's what we chose for the flashing. It's 20 inches by 50 feet. Got this at Home Depot. It was 50 bucks, and I think this could be enough to do the whole floor. So I plan on doing it in sections, 20-inch sections. You know, to cut off the ends. You know, put down some caulk, and then put like 4 rows of staples, and then put the next row on top here. So I'm gonna basically make sandwiches, and then the weight from the top is gonna help lock it down and hopefully seal it, and then these will go right back in. So alright, that's the plan. Let me get started. Alright, so any of you that are familiar with aluminum flashing, this one came rolled up as you saw in a real small roll. As soon as I cut the bands, it just exploded all over. So that should be fun trying to get it back together. Okay, so I'm going to measure my pieces out. It's 20 inches wide, and my board's just over 69 inches, 69 3/8. So I'm going to cut it, well, I'll cut it a little long, and then I'll trim it off. I think I'm going to go 70 inches. And I've got exactly 4 feet. So I'm going to get two sheets, or 20 inches, and another 8. So let me get those cut. I know the easiest way to do this. I think I need a square. Alright, so let me measure off 70 inches, mark it, and we'll cut it. Might be an easier way to do this. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, this stuff cuts my butter. Probably should be wearing gloves because I know this is going to be sharp. In fact, I might go get some. Okay, I'm cutting it a little long. It's one piece. Second piece. I don't know how precise you want to be. I mean, it is going underneath the trailer, but you do want to make sure you cover up all the wood because you don't want it to rot. All right. So there's two pieces cut. We'll cut one more, and then I'll have the pieces that I need, at least on this sheet. Maybe I've got a couple more pieces to cut. Maybe I'll see what I can get all for length first, because I've got another board this size, and I've got one board about half that size, and then the point for the end at the V. So maybe I'll cut those first. I'll cut a couple more 70s. I think I'm going to need, I don't know, 4 more. So maybe I'll cut those first, and then start mounting them. And I'll start re-recording after I remount them. Okay, so I got all my pieces cut, and for my boards, as you see, I haven't put them on yet, but looking at this thing, I think it'd be harder to try to trim one exactly to the right size. Besides the V, I have overlap, so I had enough material, so I figured I'm just going to put 3 pieces on each board. One piece in the middle, and then I'm going to overlap the other 2 on top of this one, and then wherever the overlap is, I'm going to run a line of caulk, and of course it's going to be stapled down, so that should help seal everything up. And then I'm going to spray it with that can of stuff I showed you earlier. It's like a liquid seal on all the staples and the rest of the seams, and we'll see how well it does. So let me get started. All right, let me mark my panel. Put my pencil. Kind of mark it where I know where it's got to go. All right, so I know some people probably say I should be using, what's that stuff called? The contact adhesive. And maybe I should, but we'll see how this all works out. I think this is going to be okay for what I'm doing. Somewhere in there. This ain't got to be perfect. Right on my marks. Okay. Alright, I got an idea. Alright, what I'm going to do to hold this is just put a couple staples in the end. We'll see how well this works. Okay, now that'll at least hold me in place. Now, I got a trowel that I used from some of my tile work I've done before. See how well it feels. I said, it ain't got to be perfect, but it'd be nice to have it sealed down there. Alright, that's one. Let's staple it down. I don't want to put too many staples in it. Every couple feet should be fine. And now when I get the end better, I'll staple that. Put one more in the end, right on the very end. Alright, that's going to work out pretty good. Alright, so the next one I'm going to put over top, and I'm going to layer it over top of this one. I'll see how far it's got to go. So I want to make sure I get enough silicone or caulk in there to cover this. Kind of square it up. Get my pencil. Okay, there. Here. Alright, those are at least my end lines, so I gotta at least get it on there. Back down the ground. Let's run a bead. Let's get something going on good here. This is where the seal's gotta be. We overlap a little bit, that's alright. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's get this out of the sun. I like to get out of the sun. It's pretty warm today. 85 so far. I like to get the edges lined up. Alright, that looks pretty good. Get a couple staples in there and repeat the process. I think I'm going to put more along this edge though, because this is, well, you know what? Before I go doing that, let me just get a staple down and then use my trowel, get the caulk spread out a little bit. Okay, we got caulk coming out the ends, that's good. Let's go ahead and staple it. And staple this seam a little more. Okay. Let me go it this way. There's a squirrel yelling in the background. Alright, that's two. This isn't too bad. It's going pretty quick. And I think it's going to work out well. So, let's put the next sheet on. Repeat the process, same thing. Square it up. We're going to have some overlap on this side, but that's alright because I'm going to trim it off. That's alright. Okay. Mark my panel, my line. Okay. I know some people are thinking you probably should have some gloves on working with this, working with the flashing, but I don't know if I'm just adventurous or if I'm just dumb. Probably a little bit of both. Looks like we might use about a tube of caulk per.